Like you said, there are clubs which are good within a city or within a state.
Correct.
And then you have the second division clubs, you have the I-League clubs,
Correct.
you have the ISL clubs.
Correct.
So suppose you are a reasonably good footballer, you are suppose amongst the top 500 or 1000 youth footballers in the country by then. So which type of club would you choose today, given today's scenario? Would you go for an ISL club, a reserve, most likely reserve team, because as a 17, 18-year-old, unless you are the next Baichung Bhutia or Sunil Chetri, you may not really make it to the first team.
Yeah.
So a reserve team of an ISL club or a reserve team of an I-League club, because I-League level is very similar to ISL now. Or you will go for a I-League 2 club or a local state club. What would you choose? What would you choose, and what would be the most important criteria for you to make that choice?
Yeah, so the criteria I'd say is most important. So the first thing I'd say is, the support system you have. Because I have seen a lot of players, they come, they join, they play, and then they get maybe not the best advice, and then it tends to derail them off the track of improvement. So sometimes being young, it's very easy to think that I'm good enough today.
Yeah.
But the reality might not be that. So you need someone, I'd say, to keep your feet on the ground, to not maybe boost your ego up too much, to still give you confidence, but still keep you on the ground, keep you realistic. Because the support system really is what takes you, again, the next 5 to 10 years, I'd say. So if sometimes you don't have that support system, it's very difficult to sustain in the long run. The second thing I would say is in terms of the coaching and the competitions that they play and how long they train. Right, so I would put all of these in a bucket. So some clubs you can tell they put the team together 2 weeks before. Some clubs they only play 10 matches a year, which again is not ideal. Some clubs maybe they play a decent number of games. Maybe they put the team together early as well, but maybe the coaching is not up to the mark, or the level of competition or the intensity is not up to the mark. So ideally, you want to look for a mix where they play a good number of matches, the coaching is good, and the level of the coaching is also good, the level of the team you are in is also good, and most importantly, the support system that they provide, right? Someone you can talk to for advice, someone that will come out of their way and help you. That is definitely needed. Because most clubs are designed to make the clubs win.
Right, the first team.
The first teams win.
Yeah.
But very few clubs or academies are designed to do the best for the individual player.
Right.
So somewhere you need a voice in that club that will tell you, as a player, for you, this is what is best. That these are the areas you need to work on. This is how you can improve.
Although player development is the top priority rather than winning a championship or winning a particular XYZ league.
100% agree. So this is a mistake that I have seen. Like, we have been running I-League teams and second division teams and clubs for so many years. So sometimes the players themselves get carried away when we win a tournament, a championship. But unfortunately, that sometimes has a negative effect on their own player development. So they're not able to see, they maybe neglect or think that I don't have an area of improvement. And unfortunately, the levels are so high.
Right.
Even in India today, it has come way ahead from, let's say, 5 to 10 years ago. So the level has become so high. So you need to be constantly improving.
Right.
So that is a huge lesson, I'd say, a huge thing to keep in mind as a player trying to make it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we say that, we don't expect a child to start working and, earning money in other fields at the age of 17, 18, until at least the child turns 23, completes his, at least the graduation, and maybe masters also by when the child will be 24, 25 years of age.
Okay.
Until then, they're not job ready. Even after that, another couple of years of training on the job. takes place, right? So till 25, 26, we are not really expecting a child to become financially independent and make money.
Correct.
However, in football, what we have seen is that sometimes a lot of young players, the top players at the youth level, they end up making choices of, they get attracted by, big clubs and the glamour and maybe big or reasonable, significant salaries in the short term.
Yeah.
However, they don't get enough playing opportunities because at that age, between 17 to 25, whether it is football or any other industry, what the children need is basically, an environment where they can be nurtured and they can continue to develop as future professionals in any field, right? But when you prematurely go into the job market or the professional setup, and if you're not ready, because mentally as well you're still developing, so you may get discouraged over there, or you may get you may not, obviously there are very little chances that you will achieve instant success, unless of course you are someone like a Messi or a Baichung or a Sunil.
Correct. So if you're in the 1% where by 18, 19, 20 you're good enough to play at that level, then definitely go for it. But that's not the majority of the audience, and it's not to say that the rest of them won't become just as good players. There are plenty of stories of players who peak later, that they don't peak at 18, 19, 20. Some peak at 24, 25, 26. It's all possible. That's the beauty of the game and the beauty of the sport, I'd say. So one thing definitely is that, peaking too early is an issue, because it is possible that sometimes a coach gives you an opportunity that you're not ready for. And what can happen at the high level is, for example, if you are in a match that is televised and if you have one or two bad games, it is very easy to get a reputation that this player is not ready or this player is not good. And that way the professional scenario can be very unforgiving. So you might, it could be, need not be, but it could be that you kind of ruin your own reputation by having one or two bad games because you came out too early.
Because you're mentally not ready yet.
Yes, correct. Because it's difficult to deal with pressure at such a young age. And it's a lot of responsibility, especially on a football pitch, when, so much is at
You can't run, you can't hide.
Exactly.
Once the game is on,
exactly.
You are out there. Like it is like you're out there in the battlefield.
Correct. And if you happen to be at a pretty high level, it's televised, fans are there, the owners are watching, the coaches, the opposition team. So you could very easily peak too early and set yourself back a little bit as well. So it's very crucial to make sure that you're ready for the step that you're about to take, that you are as optimum ready for that step as you can be.